on Saturday. I'm so excited.
Which one is it?
It's the 13.
Let me see. Got it. Cool.
All right, I gotta shut this up.
Dude, I have no idea even how I got into this thing. Like, I had this thing for court 2 years ago for traffic court during the pandemic. That's the only reason I have Zoom.
So I don't know what the actual delay time is. I guess we'll find that out, but it looks like we're a couple seconds behind on the live stream. It is live. We'll just wait for people to fill in a little bit.
You got to get back down to the store, man. I've been buying so much stuff.
I know. I really want to get back down. I've been busy is kind of an understatement.
Yeah, I feel the same exact way. I might actually get my own store. My uncle's thinking about selling.
Really?
Yeah. It takes like a year or two to actually find a buyer and everything. So, but he doesn't want to do any promotion or anything. So, I mean, he's 76. He's like done with it.
Interesting.
Yeah. I want to buy the place, but in the place that they're at, it's like $4,000 a month. It's not worth it. I can find places for a lot cheaper than that. It's not even worth doing that.
Yeah, I know. Definitely.
Oh, are you going to that Homedale show?
When is that? Is that this weekend?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's the November 7th or something.
Yeah, I think I heard that's going to be a really good show.
Last year I went, I got some really killer stuff for cheap.
Cool.
Yeah, I think I picked up a 9.8 of the Amazing Spider-Man. What number is that? Number 607 with a black hat on the cover. I picked up a 9.8 for $100.
Wow.
Yeah, that show is definitely good.
I'm just gonna get the chat over here. Got a couple people tuning in. What's up, Evan? Evan's really awesome seller. Sets up at a lot of shows. Rocco, hi guys. How are you doing? We're good now. Yeah, we're good. We're trying this out. Evan said Super Jerseys on Saturday. All right, we're just gonna for all you that are here right now, I can't see a number, but we're gonna give it like 2 minutes, let a couple more people filter in, and then we'll get going.
Cool.
So do we want to just prep these early listeners as to what it is they're in for, what we're going to be talking about? And just so you guys know, we're going to be on for like 45 minutes or an hour or so. This is a rough draft. We'll definitely get better at this as time goes on, but we're going to have fun.
We want to do this like every week though. I mean, if you guys want to tune in, we're down to do this. But yeah, we're talking about Halloween obviously today. Quantumania. Did you watch the trailer?
I did. Yeah, looks really really good.
Dude, Kang in that outfit is just crazy looking.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's really exciting.
Yeah, Phase 5. I want to talk about Phase 5 with Kevin Feige. Apparently, he was like he's gonna walk if they don't if Disney doesn't give him more creative control again. So
interesting.
Yeah. Then obviously what I've been doing at the shop and everything, new buys that I've gotten. Then Black Adam, you gotta go see that, man.
I gotta see it. I heard 3 reviews and they've all been dynamite, yours being one of them. So yeah, I gotta see it. And I know we're gonna have a couple people probably tuning in that want the update as to our last live stream and how that collection went. I know a couple people were frustrated with the ending. They stuck it out the whole way through and I cut them short. But it is what it is.
Well, he didn't end up, he came back like a week later or something. So, I mean, there was nothing really the end of that day. He didn't make it the deal that day anyway. I'm still working on better books. He's supposed to bring them in tomorrow. Like, he's like, you know, the box that was like this, he sold me that stuff. Like the X-Men stuff, the Ghost Rider stuff. He didn't sell me the Silver Surfer stuff. He didn't sell me like
none of the good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I told him, I was like, dude, sell the Namor to me because that's going to go down in price. And he's like, oh, I'm rated. I'm like, good luck with that.
Do you mind disclosing? Did you have somebody come in like a grading expert? Is that like a friend of yours or something?
Yeah, he's just a friend of mine. I mean, he's been in the business since he has literally every key you can imagine. Like he's actually of that Namor book that I was showing you guys from the 1940s. He actually owns that book. Like he'll give me books to put up on the wall on consignment. So
wow,
his Justice League #1, and that ended up selling like the next day. Somebody came in and bought that. So, but yeah, like he'll give me like he brought in first appearance of Justice League in a 6.0, but I mean that was like 20 grand or something. So during the pandemic, like some of those books that he has though, he has an X-Men #1, I think in an 8.0. So, but yeah, he's been doing this since before I was born.
Wow.
It's funny too. He actually he bought off of what is that, Mile High Comics. He bought back in the 90s a first appearance of Doc Ock for $150. And he sent it back to them saying, I don't feel like this is a fine grade. And he got back his money for the book and he sent it back. Now looking back, I'm like, dude, you messed up on that one. You really did.
I overheard a conversation at Comic-Con while I was going through some guy's books. It was the weirdest thing. Like this guy just walked up out of nowhere and he was talking to the owner of the stand and he was like, are you so-and-so from something comic books in New York? And the guy's like, yeah. He's like, oh, I bought an Amazing Fantasy from you back in 2007, Amazing Fantasy 15. I paid $4 grand for it. I just want to let you know I sold it for like $150,000. I was like, that's like crazy, but like, why would you say that to the guy?
I mean, I have about 10 of those stories when I sold a baseball card collection in 2015. I sold the nicest known Mickey Mantle 1956 for $4,000. It was a PSA 9. Dude sold it on eBay for like $67,000 during the pandemic.
Wow. It's amazing,
yeah.
Right?
I know. I could have retired if I would have kept that collection. There was like a Jordan rookie card in PSA 9. It was like the most outrageous stuff, and I just dumped it for like 10 grand at the time.
Second Best Bob said, would you guys pay less for a Pence UK price book? I think you're in agreement with me that generally, yes, it just doesn't command the same value. Even though you're getting the same book, basically, it's not the same price.
Look up Hulk 181, the German copy, compared to the US copy. It's $1,000 in Germany.
I bought a Journey into Mystery with Magneto on the cover. It was the first time Magneto was outside an X-Men book. And in the condition, I paid like $60 for it because it was a Pence book. But if it was a
hold up, you're like breaking up right now. Is that for me or is that?
It probably would have been like a mile high on some.
Wait, it just like completely cut out. So maybe check like your feed or something because it's like.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay.
All right, retell that story because I did not hear a word you just said.
Yeah. I bought a Journey into Mystery. It's the first time Magneto leaves the X-Men comic. It's him versus Thor in a Journey into Mystery book. And I bought the Pence for like $60. And I believe that if it wasn't a Pence, if it was a US book, it would have been, kind of like $125 to $150 book. So it does make up that much of a difference. Yeah, it's some books you get a lot cheaper books. So if you're just interested in having the book, then yeah, get the Pence. It's cheaper. But if you want the value out of it, then yeah, there's a difference.
They're hard to find though. I mean, I've only had like 3 or 4 come into my shop over the years.
They are, yeah.
Yeah, like usually you have to buy them on eBay. There are plenty of them on there, but yeah, as far as like out in the wild, I don't see them very often.
I'm just gonna try one more thing to hopefully help my connection a little bit.
I know I'm working off my Wi-Fi right now.
All right, looks like we got a couple people here, so we'll kick it off for sure now. This is the real start. I'm Chris of CGL's New Jersey Collectibles. This is Mark, owner of Jersey Coin, well, co-owner of Jersey Coin. He operates a comic book, trading card, and toy shop, and also sneaker shop, also out of his the front of his uncle's store. So, Mark, great to have you. And this is the first time we're doing this, and hopefully, it's the start of many live streams.
Definitely. Also, my Instagram is Jersey_coin732. I always forget to say that.
Jersey Coin. He's also on TikTok and a YouTube channel coming up soon, right?
Yeah. I'm working on that right now, actually. Hopefully within the next 2 weeks, I get that going.
That's awesome. And just for the viewers out there, correct me if I'm wrong, but did me walking into your shop that first time, did that like kind of open your eyes a little bit to YouTube? Like, hey, I could do this too?
Oh, definitely. I had no idea. When you walked in with that GoPro, man, it was like, I'm like, what is he doing? Like, and then I saw the next week, I probably had 50 to 100 new customers.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool. The response from you guys was definitely awesome. It definitely inspired Mark and myself to keep pumping it out, keep doing, pumping out content and keep buying and selling books and everything like that. And so we want to thank everybody that has either watched the video, supported the video, or stopped at Mark's shop and spent some money there. And Mark, you could let them know the inventory is always fresh, right?
Oh, I got this whole box right here. I just bought that this weekend, plus 2 super boxes. And then last week I bought, obviously I bought that collection, most of it, at least the bulk of it. I bought that collection from our last live. I mean, that was, honestly, I would rather take the cheaper stuff than the big keys. The guy was like astronomical on a lot of those books. So the cheaper stuff, though, he let go for a good price. Then I can flip it for a good price.
So let's start like this, because not everybody here has seen Black Adam. I have not seen Black Adam, but you have, and you were really excited to talk about it. So can you maybe share the insight without giving any spoilers away as to what made the movie so great? What really stood out to you about the movie?
Okay, The Rock pretty much took the cool scenes out of every single Marvel movie and DC movie, and he threw it in his movie. You got Doctor Strange, obviously, with the what is his name? With the helmet. Oh God, what is his name? From the Black Adam movie. Dr. Fate. You got Dr. Fate, and the spells that he was doing were insane. I mean, that they reflected all the cool spells that Doctor Strange would do. He had the Mirrorverse thing. He was doing all that, but the standout thing was the Justice Society. They were actually better than The Rock. I mean, the way that went, it was just, yeah, it was cool.
What was the flow of the movie? Was it actiony? Was it story like? What was it? What was the vibe?
It was weird because I mean, certain parts were like when The Rock came on. I mean, he was just murdering people left and right. Like, I mean, that was cool because he did all the murdering things, like all the big action scenes were in slow motion. So you see him kind of blur across the screen. And he did the scene from X-Men Days of Future Past where Quicksilver runs and basically moves all the bullets around. Mm-hmm. The Rock did that, except that he was using grenades and he was using a helicopter, and he just really messed those guys up. So the one thing, he caught a grenade in his hand and put it in the guy's mouth.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So that really, really cool. The standout though was probably the Hawkman. I mean, he was just hilarious, and he would have made a good Black Panther. He would have made a really good Panther. That was definitely the standout. Atom Smasher, he was hilarious. There's even a cameo from the Fonz.
Okay, wow, cool.
Yeah, so
very awesome. I don't know if this is going to bother anybody. It bothers me, so I have to bring it up. Whenever I'm watching these movies, whether it's Star Wars, whether it's Marvel, whether it's anything, there's always sometimes some guys do it good, but some movies they really get political in it. Did this movie have any kind of political twist to it, or was it just a good movie?
It was just a good movie. I mean, obviously, stood up for his country, but I mean, it's a fake country, so
right. I like to hear that somebody could just go to the movie and just enjoy and watch the movie and not have to get bombarded with other side stories that's going on. That's good to hear. That makes me want to go see it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was just all around good. They brought back Amanda Waller from Suicide Squad. Mm-hmm. So I mean, awesome. It interconnected with the DCU, but I mean, it definitely stood out as its own movie too. So
awesome. That was one of the things that deterred me from going to see the new Thor movie, which I still haven't seen, and I don't plan on seeing it. It's just I heard there's a lot of extra unnecessary garbage kind of getting thrown into the movie and taking away from the story. So I don't want to see that.
Oh,
that's just me.
Big thing with Marvel right now is every single one of those movies. It just seems like it's nonstop, like they're pushing their agenda.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see because a lot of it takes away from the characters and it takes away from the story. And that's what I want to say. I want to invest in the characters and putting kind of fake, scenarios and modern day politics into my Marvel it hurts.
They're retconning their own movies now. Like, what's his name? The Rock guy from Thor. What is his name? What's his name? The Rock guy. The director plays on.
I can't. It's right on the tip of my tongue.
I know. So anyway, but him, I know that in the movie before that, his mother got him thrown in the arena for starting a revolution. Mm-hmm. Now, he has two dads, and there are no females in his culture. It's like
you can't even tell your own story right.
Yeah, like why did you have to change that? From like it's such a little change. Like I didn't mind like the whole Valkyrie thing, but it's like when you're starting to retcon things, it's like it was already a good story. Why do you have to make it about something totally different?
Korg, that's the character, right?
Yep, that's it.
Thank you, Jeremy.
For the world, he actually died. If you watch the first 10 minutes of Thor: The Dark World, when Thor spins around his hammer, they're all like, Korg. Giant rock guy that walks up, and then Thor just hits him with his hammer and he breaks into pebbles. Mm-hmm. That's him dying there. So they've actually brought him back.
Interesting. So let's just kind of then transition a little bit. So you just talked about how you saw a great DC movie and how you're kind of disappointed with Marvel. What does that tell you as a business owner and operator and comic book collector and enthusiast? Are you looking more DC? Are you hesitant to go Marvel a little bit, or is it, does that affect you?
Go Marvel. I mean, even the Namor #1, I'm afraid to like buy it now from that guy. Yeah, I mean, I'm just so afraid that Black Panther 2 is going to be just a political wreck that, yeah, I'm really actually afraid to buy that book.
Interesting. And are you bullish more on DC, or are you still a little, it's still we got to see more than one movie?
Yeah, I mean, if Shazam 2, that actually looks pretty decent. I never even saw Shazam 1, but I'm planning on watching that actually. If Shazam 2 is decent, yeah, I think that I'd go more DC, definitely. Because The Rock is apparently, he said he has the entire like next 6 movies laid out like in his head.
Interesting.
Hey, he brought back Henry Cavill. So that's the big one. I mean, he was so excited about that. He was talking about that before the movie even dropped.
That's awesome. So I guess I'll share kind of my experience first. I just dropped a Comic-Con video, New York City Comic-Con, not too long ago. I got more videos coming up, but definitely Comic-Con is kind of its own experience. You see things that you aren't going to see anywhere else. And I guess one of the things that really stood out to me was people are going to get mad at me. I understand that, but prices were so ridiculously high. Like it wasn't like at market or above market. It was some stuff was like 2xing like what I could find online. And I'm like, I understand it's New York Comic-Con and I understand that everybody loves it right now, but I cannot participate in prices like that. And people obviously they want to see their books go up in value. People don't like sometimes when I say I want to see books kind of fall, because I do. I want to see books fall a little bit, get a little bit of a correction just so I can play a little bit more. But yeah, stuff is really high right now. What are you seeing as a business owner? I mean, how do you feel about the current market?
You mentioned that the Amazing Fantasy 15, I actually bought a 4.0 back in 2015 for $2,500. And it was great. 4.0, and I sold it for $4,000, and the guy probably got $50,000 for it.
That's crazy. And like when I hear a story like that, I'm like, I'm like, Mark, what has changed between now and 2015? Like, why is the price 100x from what it used to be? You know, like it's crazy.
I mean, look at I sold a Hulk 181 back in 2000 and like, yeah, around 2015 was when I had first Doctor Doom, and I sold the Hulk 181 for $2,000. A month later, X-Men got bought up by Disney. The book shot up to about 10,000. It was an 8.5 CGC. And the reason why I don't go to Comic-Con anymore is last year when I went there, I bought nothing. In 2016, I went. I bought a first appearance of Doctor Doom, $750, and it was a 5.5 with a little slight color touch on it.
Wow.
I mean,
you'll never see that now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure that the girlfriend got broken up with because the guy was in the bathroom at the time, because the book was still about $2,000 at that time. And
so you didn't buy it, you bought it from the girlfriend. Nice.
And like, I saw the guy leave for the bathroom, and I'm like, let me go over and see what the prices are. And yeah, the girlfriend and his friends were all over there, and he's like, yeah, I think that book's like $1,000. I'm like, take $750. So yeah, that's a funny story right there. And if you're watching, I am sorry, but yeah.
That's funny. I was tempted at some point to not buy anything and walk out kind of empty-handed. But guys, if guys were willing to work on the price with me a little bit to where I was good. So if there wasn't that wiggle room, I would have walked out of there with maybe a $2 comic book, and that's pretty much it. I just didn't see a lot that I loved at the prices that were being asked. It was hard to really pull the trigger on anything. It's frustrating. I
remember last year when I went, I had a 9.0 giant size X-Men 1. And what I was selling the 9.0 for, people were selling a 6.0 at that price.
Wow.
It was crazy. I mean, I was asking like $7,000 for the 9.0, and people were asking $8,000 for their 6.0.
Wow. And you know, it is New York Comic Con. You can ask that ridiculous number. I just find it amazing. Like, speaking of just crazy price changes, you could have bought a mid-grade condition giant size X-Men 1, 4, 5, 6. You could have bought one of those books for $1,000 like 2 years ago. And now it's like it's a $5,000+ book, $10K if it's like 7.0 or higher. I mean, it's, you know, it's crazy. I'm skeptical of the future because I feel like we're living in just a era of really high prices right now, and I don't know if it's sustainable.
Boy, the bubble's definitely gonna pop. You know what? I'm blaming the pandemic though. People were sitting there with free money, and you got all these gamblers. The casinos were closed down at that time. So what do? They go on eBay and they're willing to bid anything, because I mean, hell, they were used to losing $20,000 in a night at Tropicana. So what? $20,000 on a giant size X-Men.
Yeah, and I explained to somebody who's not, you know, a friend of mine from work who's not really too into the comic book scene, just that you got to understand that it's very difficult to find somebody who's willing to spend $10,000 or more on a book, especially $100,000 or more. Now you're really talking about a specialized market. You have to be extremely wealthy to be able to shell out money like that. These are not your average Joe collectors that are paying, you know, $500,000, $1 million for a book. These are guys that have it, and they can really afford. It's not even a blip on their radar to drop $100,000 on a book. And I think some people get a little disillusioned with that at times.
Oh, I constantly have people come in and they're like, they point to a book on the wall and they're like, how much is that? I'm like, $3,000. And they're like, are you out of your mind? And they get pissed at me. Like, they think often, I'm like, dude, this book sold last for $4,000. Like, yeah. I'm giving you a deal.
And I mean, going to your store a bunch of times, your deals are your prices, they're right where they should be. They're not like ridiculously high eBay prices, and you obviously have really good stuff, so you can command a high dollar.
Yeah. But I mean, a lot of people look at that and it's like, you have to have that specialty market for it. So that's a lot of these people, they just don't know that I'm there at that point. That's why your video, actually, I mean, I got more high-end buyers off your video than I ever had.
I have a lot of longtime collectors, a lot of smart people that watch this channel, and I really appreciate all the advice they drop on me constantly. Not all of it I agree with, but all of it I do take in, and I try to, incorporate that into my buying strategy. But yeah, and somebody just commented, with all this inflation, it's hard to sell anything at the moment. Yeah, it's tough. We're in a weird time right now. The bottom line is, the past 2 years since COVID, it's just kind of been like a dream that we're in. And at some point, people are going to wake up, and I don't know what it's going to look like when we wake up. Maybe it's going to be pretty ugly. Maybe it'll be fine. We'll see. But yeah, you want to move on. You want to show and maybe just fill in some of our viewers as to what happened to our last live stream. I know I ended up leaving early because, we were 2.5 hours into it, and it was longer than expected. But you had somebody come in, and you want to share that story?
Yeah. So, I mean, it was just a random Joe Schmo coming in. I mean, like I told you in the past, it's like these guys are coming into my shop because my uncle's been there for 40 years. So, I mean, a lot of these guys are bringing in their raw book collections. That actually got inherited to him by his uncle. So he wasn't even a comic book collector. He just got comics. And the problem is, he was looking at graded prices for all of those books.
Okay.
I mean, on it like $700 for that ASM 252. I'm like, looking at like a 9698 price. I'm like, I'm not buying that based off of that. I'll buy it for, and I quoted him high prices actually. And then I'm like looking it up after he left, and I'm like, thank God he didn't take it, because I mean, I was too high on a lot of stuff. Because I mean, sometimes I get excited, and then like I'll buy it just off of whim. But yeah, so he basically ended up, I called him up later on that week, and we met up again at the shop. And then I really showed him what the prices were. And he ended up selling me that whole box. And then he actually brought in these too. This is cool. It was, I think it was 120 famous monster magazines.
Oh, one of my favorites. Cool. I'll have to get some of those next time I come.
Yeah, I have like all the Frankenstein covers he had. He had the Fanbora magazines. I mean, there was really like, yeah, here's beautiful.
So cool. Yeah, I love that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to find them in this condition too, especially like the early ones. Mm-hmm. You really see them too often. So that stuff I snatched up off him. And I mean, he was realistic on pricing for a lot of this stuff. So like the entire box, basically, I told him, I'm like, yeah, the condition's there, but you have no major keys or anything. You pulled out all the keys. So he ended up selling me that whole box. And next time you come, actually, I still have it. I just rebagged and boarded everything. It's just sitting on the side. So
that's awesome. And it's unfortunate that he took back all the big ones, but like you said, it seems like he had enough information to not know what he's talking about. It's not like he didn't know what he was talking about. He thought he knew what he was talking about. And it's like, he just had enough information to make the deal not work out. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. The internet's a dangerous place.
Some people were commenting on the live stream afterwards, after I had posted it. They were just curious, like your buying strategy. And somebody wrote, I don't want to say it's a dumb comment. I'm just saying, somebody asked, do you pay retail for books? And I'm like, he can't operate a retail store and pay retail. That's not how that works. So kind of, what is your buying strategy?
Okay. I was a little afraid to lowball them because we were on live. So that's kind of why I priced it. And like I said, I wasn't sitting there looking up prices, but usually what the strategy is you bring in the books. I sit there, I look up individual prices, and then I go off of that. And I'm usually about like 50% to 60% on books that are like the Nammer #1. I probably pay like 65% of what the grade I personally believe it was. I put it at like 5.0. So, but no, I don't pay retail. That was more of, I didn't feel like getting crucified online by being like, yeah, I'll give you $5 for that book. So, I mean, then I looked at the prices and I was like, holy crap, I offered over what I could buy that book for. And when he came back, he was like, oh, so could you go a little more? And I'm like, dude, look at the prices on these books. And that's when I started breaking it down to him. I'm like, I can't go anywhere near those prices. I ended up offering $5 for the Nammer.
And he didn't take it?
No, I mean, he's still debating it, actually. He's supposed to bring in the Silver Surfer stuff. He's going to bring in that What If #1. and he's gonna be that What If #1 was the most beautiful copy I've ever seen of that book.
I mean, nice book.
Bright white. Yeah. So like on a book like that, I offered him $40. So it's like I can't pay too high on this stuff either. You just, I'm sorry. No, Bianca just. Okay.
Okay, you got it. You got it.
Yeah. No, she just knocked over a drink. All right. So.
But what you're offering as a store owner, you're offering conveniency to this guy. I mean, that's what you get for your lower price. You're going to offer him a lower price than what he can probably get if he lists the book online, ships it, pays the taxes, pays the shipping, deals with the customer, because there's always a problem when you ship stuff online. And you're just offering him the convenience of quick cash, and that's why you get the lower price.
Well, the other thing is now, I mean, I'm even offering a little bit less because eBay has introduced a new thing where it doesn't matter if you have 100% feedback. If you do not get your item out the following day, or if somebody opens up a case against you, even if it goes in your favor, because I had 2 cases against me. The guy had a ripped open package, but yet there was no red label from the post office saying it was damaged in transit. So that was a scammer thing that eBay instantly sided with me, paying 20% in fees.
Wow, and I haven't heard of that yet, so I got to do some research on that. I haven't sold anything on eBay in probably the last month, and I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, not everybody's doing that if you're a high-rated seller, but I mean, my feedback is 100% and everything, and I'll actually show you some screenshots when we get off. I'll send you over some screenshots, and maybe you can just like edit it out and post it in the comments to show people what you really, because they never mentioned it to me. I actually sold a Mickey Mantle card on there for $1,000, and they gave me they gave me $794. And that's what was the red flag with me. I'm like, wait, no, that's too easy. I mean, like when it's like $100, $120 thing, like then you're just, okay, yep, it's going to my account, it's going. But when it's a big item, I mean, they took an extra $60-something from it. So that's where like now I'm worried to be selling on eBay. So I'm actually going to be starting on Whatnot.
I also have to look into Whatnot. I think that's my next experiment. But yeah, I've always said that as a buyer, I don't want to buy a big ticket item off of eBay because then I'm paying 20% more to get it. It's like $1,000 item. I got to pay $1,200 for it. So it's like, I don't want to do that.
I have a lot of these guys actually, like, because my eBay account was called Jersey Point. I deleted my eBay account after they basically screwed me with the thing. They took it came out to an extra $400. They took in the extra 6% fees for being a low-level seller. But yeah, why am I a low-level seller if I got good feedback? But basically, they were like, no, there's nothing we can do about it. Like, that's that. So I since deleted the eBay account, but a lot of these people were contacting me because it was Jersey Coin. So they would they'd contact me, and they'd actually come into the shop to buy the item from me. So that was the one positive about having the shop and having the eBay account. But then, yeah, not everybody's in New Jersey. That's the other problem.
That's it.
I had to drive down here from Connecticut. I mean, he bought arts, so. But then he comes and goes, oh, well, you're going to beat the eBay fees, so I want to pay this for it. And I'm like, you're beating the taxes, so yeah.
It goes to both ways.
Yeah.
We have Jeremy Cartwright in the comment section just saying that he lives in Oklahoma, but when he comes to New Jersey, he wants to visit your shop, and he's excited to come there one day.
Oh,
so
definitely.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'll put the hours too in the comments. I'll give you like the hours and everything. That way,
we'll put all the store info.
We're cash only, guys. I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to get that little square reader thing. Somebody came in who talked to you and everything, and they had like $600 worth of books picked out, and they're like, I didn't know you were cash only. So yeah. So for the time being, try and bring in cash. We do PayPal, and we do Venmo, and what do we do? Zelle. We do Zelle, Venmo, and PayPal. But yeah, unfortunately, we're not taking credit cards right now.
Interesting. It's funny because I always carry cash. I don't use anything besides cash. And sometimes I run into guys that don't take cash. I'm like, how do you not take cash? Like, come on. But we usually get work around that.
Yeah, her dad was worried the first time we went down to Atlantic City because he knew that I carry cash on me. And he's like, you could get mugged with cash. I'm like,
I don't carry cash.
I don't know. I carry cash. Cash thing.
I'm old fashioned. I don't know what it is, but I was just going to ask you something. Oh, I was curious. I never asked you this, but your insight as a shop owner, how did you feel about me coming in and recording in your shop? Maybe just the first time or just any time. Like, how do you feel about people coming into your shop, even if it's not me, just coming in and recording?
I think it's cool. I mean, I love it. Like, it gets me more promotion. Like, next time you come in, actually, I'm setting up my Christmas window where I showed you the video of what it looked like last year with like the whole holiday complaint desk with Baby Yoda and Big Yoda arguing, and like the droids reading Playboy, and the turkey with the lightsaber. I do the whole Christmas window. I don't know how that hasn't gone viral yet.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, I mean, like a few people record it for TikTok, but they just don't have the followers. So hopefully this year it can get some more traction on it, because a lot of people, they look at our store and they think it's an old person store.
Right.
So
I let me know when you figure out what goes viral on TikTok, because I can't figure it out. Like, I'll post something that I think is cool and it doesn't go anywhere, and then I'll post something just to post it and that goes viral. So I don't know. I don't know how to figure it out.
I don't understand how that thing went viral. I mean, your table and your booth and everything, that didn't go viral. I don't understand that.
It's interesting. I don't know how that works exactly, but one thing for sure, we don't have to get too deep into this because I don't want to piss too many people off, but I'll throw it in there just because that's what this channel is all about. It's about being honest and open. But when I go onto YouTube, it's not so bad, definitely not so bad. But when I go onto TikTok, people really, really hate a businessman. They really hate capitalism. They really hate buying and selling. It's so toxic to go on there and just get exposed to the worst kind of comments about how I'm apparently the worst human being to ever exist. It's crazy.
Buy stuff from the flea market and then make profit on it.
Right. Apparently that's a crime. Apparently there's something wrong with that.
Well, you know what? I'm definitely going to get in a lot of issues about this, because this thing I just picked up from Target, and it's that new Charizard Pokemon set. And you know what? $120 at Target, but you can't get them for under $200 on the secondary market. So, hey, that's what my line of business is. That's what your line of business is with this. It's like a lot of these people can't get this stuff, though. I mean, a lot of these people, there was 30 people in line waiting to get one of these. Yeah. I could have bought 5 of them if I wanted, or 4 of them. That's the limit.
Right.
Well, stop. I mean, that's not really a scalper to me. I'm going to help out a little kid, and I'm going to sell it for $170, not even full 200. So to me, if you're going to go on Facebook though, and you're going to sell those people that buy like 100 blaster boxes of the new product that just came out and they're charging top dollar, those guys are scumbags. but you find cool stuff down the flea market constantly, and I mean, it might be underpriced, and hey, you know what? Everybody deserves their little cool stories on how they made $10 into $100.
Yeah. And the beauty of this whole thing, this is what I always try to explain to people, is nobody's putting a gun to anybody's head that you have to take this offer, or you have to buy it for this or anything like that. If I want to offer you $10 and you are saying to yourself, you know what, I'll take the $10, here you go. And I go ahead and I say, I want to sell it for $50, and I can find somebody that says I'll pay $50 for it. Everybody's happy in that equation. You know, nobody's forcing you to sell, and nobody's forcing the person to buy. So if it's, you know, the people that comment, they really don't have an understand. They really dislike it because I think they're either envious, jealous, or they just don't understand how it works. And it's unfortunate.
I mean, when I was down the flea market actually this past weekend, and I never walk around down there, and I just started doing it recently because like I've been finding cool deals and everything. This guy stops me and he goes, "You buy pops, right?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "You want to take these ones?" I'm like, how much? $1 each. I'm like, dude,
Sure.
what are you doing? Like, and I told them, I'm like, they're worth a little bit more than that. You do realize it. And I mean, they were like early ones too. This is some of the ones that I grabbed. And I mean, they're like the early like Guardians of the Galaxy Civil War stuff. And the guy just, I mean, hey, you know what? It's like, I bought the entire lot though too from him. So, but he was happy. He got to go home and he had his money, but he was a storage unit buyer. He doesn't know what, he doesn't want to deal with that kind of stuff. And I tell a lot of people too, recently I had a guy call me up and I'm like, you do realize I have to pay somebody to list it up for me. I have to pay rent and overhead. I have to pay taxes at the end of the year for this stuff. I mean, it's not like I'm just putting this cash into my pocket and yay, I win, I make $100. Nah, by the end of that, like where I pay $10 for something and sell it for $100, I might actually only make like $30 profit, $40 profit.
Right. And that definitely goes into the people not understanding the full scope of it. They just see the numbers and they're like, that doesn't make sense. And to sit there and to explain it to people, sometimes they just don't even want to listen. So at that point, I just kind of disengage, but definitely had to throw that in there just to hopefully that
that's what
motivates somebody.
That's why I stopped reading comments.
Yeah, I read all the comments.
You know what? That's one of my problems on Instagram is I don't really respond to people too, is because like, I mean, I don't like hearing negative about like what I do. And like the whole thing where I said I sounded racist last video. That guy had my Google account and left a feedback.
Really?
Never been up before, but he wanted to leave feedback and it was like, why?
Really? That's some people have nothing better to do, honestly. That's what it comes down to. Anytime somebody leaves a really negative comment, like an unnecessarily negative, some people say negative things unintentionally, like they're just commenting, and I understand some people just have their opinions, but some people really go out of their way to write something negative, and at that point I'm like, this guy really has nothing better to do. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm
Yelp
it is what it is.
Stupid people. I think I heard that on Family Guy. No, Yelp is a weapon for stupid people. That's what it was. Yelp is a weapon.
When, South Park had a good Yelp episode.
Oh God, I gotta watch that.
It's really good. So look, today's Halloween. You have kids that went trick-or-treating. I live right next to a school where I see a bunch of kids trick-or-treating and dressed up in Halloween costumes. What did you, because you wanted to bring this up, so I'll let you take the reign on this. What about Halloween?
It sucks. I mean, I went to over 80 houses with my kids, and there was maybe 4 or 5 of them, and they all had candy outside the door. They didn't even answer the door. So, wow. I mean, I'm 32. How old are you?
24.
Okay, so yeah, you were still in that era before this trunk or treat thing. So basically,
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, it's like I did one of those actually with my kids, and I gave out maybe like 1,000 packs of cards at my kids' elementary school. But then like we walk around door to door, and no one's even knocked on my door tonight. A few years ago, people were knocking on the doors and everything still, and it's crazy because I have a bowl of cards that I was going to give out to the kids when they knock on doors.
Me too. But nobody's knocked on my door today.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because I went to my kids' elementary school and they had their little parade with the costumes. So I know kids are still dressing up, but I saw 2 kids in my neighborhood walking door to door, aside from us.
That is crazy. And it used to be like, I'll tell you one thing just that I saw from my town. I'm not going to say that this is towns across America, but we had people trick-or-treating on Saturday. And then today also, it's like, you got to pick a day. Like, I don't care what the scenario is. If it's Halloween, you're trick-or-treating. And if it's not Halloween, you're not trick-or-treating. So like, I don't know if that screwed people up, but it's like, you can't have like 2 days of trick-or-treating. That's not how this works. It's not hard.
I think a lot of it had to do with the weather though. They were calling for rain today. So, but I mean, that kind of, that really screws things up. I remember during Sandy, Halloween got canceled and they had it like a month later.
I remember that. That was a weird time too.
Yeah. But I think a lot has to do with, I mean, people just don't want to have human interaction anymore.
That is definitely, I was just about to say that. That is definitely a big part of it. And it's with everything.
I mean, it's sad. She doesn't want to go to the mall.
I mean, not a lot of people do.
I was a mall rat when I was a kid. I mean, I remember that was my first job at Burger King at the mall because I was there so much. The Burger King guy said, "You want a job, dude? Like, you're here every day." But it's crazy because these kids aren't experiencing what being a kid really is anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Riding your bike through a neighborhood, through the cul-de-sac, going door to door with all your friends. It's like, I mean,
I was just going to ask, what was trick-or-treating for you? What was the experience?
I grew up outside of Atlantic City in Tuckerton, New Britain. So, I mean, we were, my elementary school class was 24 kids. So we were like little tiny town, like the little American town. So pretty much like the Pineys. And I remember running around with about 10 of my friends going door to door until about 11 o'clock at night. And then eventually my mom came out driving around looking for me. And eventually she would drag me into the car and she'd be like, "All right, you're done." Mm-hmm. But trick-or-treating was to me, I mean, I would leave with 3 giant sacks of in my pillowcases, fill them up.
That was awesome. That would have been awesome. I had the same thing. I would trick-or-treat with friends right after school. We'd hit trick-or-treating. And then later at night, we'd drive to my cousins, and me and all my cousins would go trick-or-treating. I'd have 2 full sacks of candy, and it was great. I think, and I know I'm not wrong. I'm definitely right about this, but I just think parents are just getting a tighter and tighter and tighter hold on their kids. Maybe rightfully so, because maybe kids, maybe it's dangerous to leave your kids out there in today's world alone, but parents are definitely holding on tight to their kids, and they're definitely not encouraging public participation, I think, unless there's parent supervision, which is, if you watch something like South Park, like me, it's totally against what we did as kids. It was like, I don't want parent supervision when I'm in 5th grade or 6th grade. I want to be free, and you don't see a lot of that.
I don't know how South Park raised this new generation. I mean, South Park turned this generation that we're dealing with now into what they are. I mean,
isn't it crazy?
Because I mean, I remember Family Guy, the little baby would go off by himself. Yeah. It's like, I mean, I know that's unrealistic, but it's like for a 7-year-old, no, that's a little young, but like for like a 12 to 15-year-old, not to be able to go down, because my mom would not let my little brother trick or treat, and he is 19 right now.
Mm-hmm.
He would have to do treat.
I remember, I want to say one of the earlier memories I can remember is 4th grade. So whatever that is, 9 or 10, that was me going trick-or-treating, with my friends. My little brother, who was 2 years behind me, so 7 or 8, was tagging right along, and we went up and down blocks, all around the corner. All the parents were back at the house having a Halloween party. And that's my memory of trick-or-treating. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And today, like you said, I don't see, and it was at night. It wasn't like during the day, like it was at night. So I don't know. I don't see that anymore. It's weird. It is weird.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I remember going out when I was 15, I used to take the bus down to Atlantic City and hang out with my friends. I mean, that's probably why my little brother wasn't allowed to do anything. Yeah, no, I mean, I would just, I was very independent, and I don't think these kids are independent anymore. And that's a big problem but now you got these little kids and they're making money online and everything. My little brother's friend has a YouTube channel, and he literally probably made more money than me my entire life last year alone off his YouTube channel.
Wow. Isn't that something? Video.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I would probably sit there on video games, and I would love to get paid for that.
Yeah. I mean, but think of all the parents that 10, 15 years ago told their kids, you can never make money playing video games. And now you got 12-year-olds making 6 figures. I mean, what do you say as a parent at that point? It's like, you discourage your kid from maybe a gold mine. It's weird. It's weird. I think in general, I think parents just got to chill a little bit. I think that'll help out.
That was my J. Cole song Middle Child. It's like he was right in between. Yeah. That's my problem is I miss the generation of the 80s where technology did not matter. You could still make money not knowing technology. And it was like 90s just missed it because like I didn't have a computer until I graduated high school. Mm-hmm. A computer. I had a cell phone in 12th grade. That was the first cell phone I ever had. But it was Nokia. It was like a brick phone. So I just missed out on, and then like the following like grades behind me, they had MacBooks and everything, and it was crazy.
I had a similar story, just that I didn't have a cell phone until 9th grade, freshman year of high school. And that was not the norm. I mean, the norm was kids having iPhones like in middle school, and I didn't have that. And it wasn't even like a thought to me. Like, just the way my parents kind of raised me was just, get off the phone a little bit and just go out and play and have fun. But, there's nothing, there's nothing wrong with that. There's definitely a little bit of a, like I said, like just since this COVID thing, man, it's just been weird. Stuff's just been weird. And I'm trying not to swear, but stuff's just been weird.
Did you have a bike as a kid?
I did have a bike. I wasn't a big biker. Honestly, stuff in our town is just really close together. I mean, to walk from here to my local football field is like a 20-minute walk. So, I wasn't a big biker, but I rode around from time to time.
Well, that's the problem is my brother don't even know how to ride a bike.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest issue is, I mean, a lot of these parents, they look at what my generation did and the whole teen pregnancy thing, and they're like, nope, we're not even letting them go out of the house.
That's something I do feel for the parents though, because there's a lot of forces at work right now, and kids are vulnerable. It's like I said, I don't know if there's a right or a wrong answer, but we'll see. Time will tell on stuff like this. We'll see what it looks like in 20 years.
Yeah, let the kids trick or treat though. Let the kids be kids, cause
let them trick or treat. Hey. If there's one thing we can get away from this live stream, it's let the kids trick or treat. Let them have fun.
Yeah, exactly. But,
what do you think? You want to wrap it up, or you want anything other topic that you want to hit?
I got this thing, which is really, really crazy.
Let's see it.
Guys did not guys out. Dude, this thing is freaking nuts. I mean, literally, it has the Dr. Doom head. The fingers are fully articulated on this thing. I mean, then you got this. It came with 3 Heralds of Galactus. You got the extra heads that flash and everything. This is the zombie face.
Wow.
As far as Marvel Legends go, this is probably the best legend I've ever gotten.
Wow. And you had mentioned to me off camera that the last one that they did was kind of a little janky. It wasn't really good quality.
Yeah, the Sentinel that they did, it was very, very poor quality. I mean, it was like hand painted or something. So like, it was like very, it didn't have good paint apps on it. This thing though is like par none. I love it how they stuck an arc reactor on the back of them.
Yeah, that is so cool. There's a lot of detail in that.
Those definitely pick this thing up if you're a Marvel Legends collector. I mean, this is probably the coolest thing I've gotten in years. I mean, playing around with him, like doing the whole little setups with like the Fantastic Four and everything. And yeah, no, this thing is a load of fun. So yeah, definitely pick that up if you guys didn't. And yeah, next week I'm going to be going through this box. So, I mean, I'll definitely show you guys if we do another one next week, some of the highlights. But yeah, I picked up this stuff down the flea market, probably the best score I've gotten ever down the flea market. And there's like 3 books in some of these, so I don't even know what's all in there. And he counted up half them, so I didn't even see what was in there really. But Amazing Spider-Man.
All good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there was some really decent stuff in there. So yeah, this week I'm going to be going through it. And yeah, and also I got some new stuff for your pops too.
Cool. I got him right behind me. He's trying to get a peek at some of those books.
Yeah, hang on. Where were they?
He missed the last trip that I went. I snuck down during the week. Unfortunately, he was at work.
I know. Yeah, you got to bring him next time. Definitely. Yeah. Wait, here it is. I got these already over to the side for him. So
he said those are he's got some books for you.
But no, there was some cool stuff in there. I know there's a Wolverine #1 in here too.
Oh, really?
It's the patch first appearance, but I mean it's all that one generation Flintstones.
Mm-hmm.
You. Yeah, another Amazing Spider-Man. It was just it was such a crazy deal, and the funniest part was that this stuff was sitting on a table until 11 o'clock.
Wow.
And no one even bothered walking up there. And it's funny too, because there is a comic book shop in the inside of the flea market. Mm-hmm. And Dad's a good guy and everything, but he gets there at 6 a.m. and he scoops up every comic, like good deal
mm-hmm.
down.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. He missed those. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if prices like scared him off or not, because I mean $1 for that book, $2 for that book, $2 for that book. But when I asked him what he would take for everything, he definitely gave me a great deal on this stuff. I didn't pay close to what the stickers were. So yeah, I'm going to be going through this stuff. I don't even know what's in here, all this stuff. So definitely, I'll send a video of some of the highlights if you want to post up on your YouTube page. I'll do like a highlight thing of all this stuff. Probably tonight, me and her are going to go through it and rebag and board this stuff, because this stuff definitely needs to be rebagged and boarded.
Cool. And I'll just let you know that next week, Friday, I'm not working. So maybe I can come down Friday, and my dad can stop by also. If I got there like around 4:30, we could probably set up a day down there.
Okay, yeah. Well, try and get there a little bit before then, because we close on Friday at 5:15, 5:30. So definitely,
okay.
Yeah, try and get there like around 3-ish. That way that you can do like a little. You'd have a good hour there.
Yeah. A couple hours will be good. So I'll give myself a little cushion. And if anybody's around, you know where to find me. Next week, Friday, will be at Jersey Coin, probably from like 2 to 4, 2 to 5-ish. So that'll be good.
Forward to that, because like I said, man, the monster magazines I'll keep over to the side for you, because I didn't even know.
I appreciate that. I like just so you know, I'm into Werewolf, Wolfman, anything like that's my go-to.
That's all it was in there, was like the Wolfman. And also I have issue number 100, and I guess that the guy knew the creator of Famous Monsters. Mm-hmm. I forget his name, but anyway, he has a signed check by him. So
interesting.
So that was a pretty cool thing. Yeah, I haven't even talked to you since Salem, so I got some cool stuff to show you when you come down.
Yeah, and when I come down, I'll have watched Black Adam, so we could talk about that.
Definitely. Yeah, we'll try and do like another live thing though before then.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, I like this whole little setup thing, and this is pretty easy. So we'll try and aim for like 7 o'clock on Mondays then.
It's good. We'll improve. We'll be consistent with it, and we'll see what comes out of it. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in to CGL's second live stream with Mark of Jersey Coin. You want to drop the Instagram one more time?
Yeah, follow me at Jersey_coin 732. Jersey Coin on TikTok. And definitely give me a like, give me a follow, and if there's ever anything that you guys like, just hit me up, and I can always put it aside, and I do ship. Just if you come into the cash only.
Coming into the shop, it's cash only. Stop by, spend some money. Always new stuff coming in. What is it? Every Thursday you rotate new dollar boxes?
Yeah, Thursday I do at least $1 box, one $9 box right here. I already got new boxes. So yeah, pretty much I get the box prepared and everything, and it's going to be $1 box right here. So this is going to be this week's. So yeah, definitely some cool stuff in there, and definitely hit me up and swing in.
Sounds good. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we're closed Sunday and Monday, Tuesday through Friday. We're open until 5 o'clock, and then Saturday we're open until 3.
Okay, very good. Mark, it was a pleasure. I guess we'll be seeing you next week. Thank you for everybody that tuned in, everybody that commented. If you guys have any questions for us, you can either leave it in the comments section of this video, because this is going to become like a regular video, or save it for next Monday. We'll answer them next Monday. Maybe we'll have a little Q&A session before we start.
Yeah, that's definitely sounds like a plan. So, all right, Chris.
All right, guys. Mark, see you. YouTube.